In this image, the viewer will be dropped into an arid, desolate landscape. I really like the desert scenes because they're easy to do, easier than foliage in tropical situations or forested situations, and especially in a case where I can't actually picture it clearly or find references that would assist in that regard. But nonetheless, this one is intended to be a desert, not like I'm crutching out on it, because sometimes I do that with desert scenes. Plus, I just like desert scenes. They're the arid simplicity of it, and everything's scorched out. There's no life. It's just very simple and sterile, and I guess pure in that regard. And here we have a situation where there may have been a thriving civilization at one point, or a fertile area, a fertile land that is now gone. And all that's left is these giant cities on towers in the far distance, and a few skeletons tied to poles. I'm not quite sure what the narrative is intended to be here, but it's just trying to create a sense of wonder and let the viewer figure it out for themselves and write their own story. I could kind of riff off this and come up with something, and I have maybe a little bit, but I will skip all that and let the viewer come up with their own adventure, I guess. And here we had some skeletons in the foreground fading out into the distance, giving the impression that somebody, obviously, or something laid waste to this area and purposefully put those unfortunate souls on those posts. So what I'm really going for is that sense of stillness and death, I guess, that you'd get in the desert. But even though it's dead and still, it's still quiet and peaceful, and you're left with the viewer's left wondering what is happening here, what is going on, what caused this, how are there these magnificent cities in the distance, these structures here. Now it doesn't look like there could be anything here. That sense of narrative that the picture created is always something that got me. That always got me into sci-fi imagery or and making this stuff, because that's what it always seemed like it was all about. Looking at the old works from the masters. When I say the masters, I mean the guys who I typically refer to: Chris Voss, Angus Mackay, Jim Burns. Just what is happening in this picture? How did we get here? Sort of what I'm fishing for here. I'll expand that out and open up a more panoramic view. Trying to get that sun right. I had some prominences on there earlier, like a solar flares or a corona, but I didn't want to clutter up the sky because I like that pure red. And I think we're getting close to wrapping this up here. If you stuck around this long, I greatly appreciate it, and we'll be doing this again. Thanks for your time.